BTS channel Director's Stream. If you are new to our channel, subscribe the channel and click a bell button so that you can get a notification, like our video and share with your friends. Today's topic is a letter to God, which is the first chapter of our first flight. A letter to God is written by J.L. Fields. Before going to a chapter, let's see a chapter sketch. It is a story based on a hard and extreme belief in a god of a poor farmer Lencho who had lost his crops due to a heavy rain and hailstorms. It was the only source of income for his family. So, seeking some help, he wrote a letter to a god. Some kind of post officers helped him. So, this story tells us to have a faith in a God and to never lose a hope in any adverse situation. Next, moving to a characteristics in this chapter, they are Lencho, postmaster and post office employers. Lencho is a poor farmer who lived in a hill with a small family, and he was such a poor who lost his field in a heavy rain and hailstorm, and he had a wife and two children. He was such a poor but he had a more faith in a God. Next, move to a postmaster. A postmaster, he was fat and friendly fellow who helped Lencho to retain a faith in a God of a Lencho. Postmaster gave his half salary to Lencho. Next, post office employers. Post office employers also helped Lencho to give Lencho. Postmaster calls post employers to give their salary or some money to help a Lencho. So they gave or they helped the Lencho. And these post office employers loved a Lencho when they saw a letter to God in the hands of a Lencho. And these post office employers were called as a bunch of crooks by this Lencho. Next, moving to the chapter. Moving to the chapter, Lencho was a poor farmer who lived with his family on a peak of a hill, and in the entire valley there was only house of a Lencho. From there he could see his field and also a river. His field always promised him a good harvest, but he was only waiting for a downpour, that is one shower of a rain. He was watching the sky to have a good rainfall. Suddenly he saw clouds, so the rain had been started. So he was so joyful. At the time of dinner, he saw a rainfall. He was so happy. He compared that raindrops to a silver coins and a golden coins, and it gave him a so joy. He became so delightful. But suddenly his joy was disappeared because that rain turned into a hailstone and ruined his crops. His field was filled with a snow like a salt in his field. He saw all his crops were wasted and all his hard work was wasted. He was worried about his family because his field was filled with a layer of salt. A snow. So he was totally worried. He thought that his family would be hungry for 1 year. But he was having faith in a God, so he wrote a letter to a God asking for 100 pesos. He went to a post office and wrote a letter and put that in a post box. So that post officers took that letter and started laughing. He went to the postmaster, and he was continuously laughing. Postmaster asked him, "Why you are laughing?" And then he explained everything about the letter to a God. Then postmaster also started laughing, but suddenly he becomes serious and he opens that letter and he will read everything. That is, he needs 100 pesos. So he thought to help him because he don't want to lose his faith. He don't want Lencho to lose his faith in a God. So he started collecting rupees from post office employers, and he also gave a half salary to a Lencho. But at last there was only a 70 pesos. He took a letter and put that 70 pesos in a letter and he signatured as a god because he want to keep a faith of a Lencho. So he signed or signatured as a god and gave it to the post officers. After a few days, Lencho came to a post office and asked to a post officers that he had some letter or what. Then the post officers told that yes, you have a letter from letter. Then he saw that letter and he was not so surprised because he was having that much faith that God would help him. So he opened that letter and saw only 70 pesos. Suddenly he became so angry and took another letter, started writing a letter. Everyone was surprised to see that what was a letter. And at last he wrote a letter and gave it to a post officers. Postmaster came and took that letter and started reading it. There was nothing but this Lencho wrote that, God, I asked you about 100 pesos, but there I got only a 70 pesos. These officers are a bunch of crooks. You send me remaining 30 pesos by another way. At last, post officers who have helped him become a bunch of crooks in the eyes of a Lencho. So this was the chapter. We should never lose a faith in a God, or we should never lose our hope. It may be any critical situation, we should have faith or a belief. Thank you friends. Thank you for watching this video. This was the chapter, Letter to God.